Taurus, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late August, early September 2023. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's going on for the lovely Taurus collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's see what's going on here. My guides, talk to me. What do we got for the bulls? What do we got for the Taurus collective? Yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for you, my friends. What do we got? My guides, talk to me. Talk to me about Taurus. Okay, interesting. I haven't seen this card in quite a while, and I've been liking that with the earth signs. They've been getting some unique ones when it comes to the oracle cards. You see this lady, it looks like she was reflecting, closing her eyes. Of course, this card is huge in regards to memories and the past. There's big connections to communication as well. Before we fully dive into it, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the August subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk about this. So the imagery is very interesting. I know I was already pointing it out, that this lady, she has her eyes closed. There's a locket that she's holding. Obviously, she is thinking about the past or reminiscing a little bit. This does have similar notes to the Six of Cups in Tarot. So for a lot of you, maybe you're thinking about the past a little more than you normally do. People, places, things, situations from the past could come bubbling up a little more in this time than normal. Now, there's also a doll here, so this could go way back to like even childhood and stuff like that. Now, another thing with this card is the letters. So that is somebody obviously wanting to say something, wanting to talk, wanting to communicate. So those could be big things in the coming days and weeks. Communication, whether ones that you do have or ones that you want to have. Maybe there's some that you don't even want to have. It all depends, right? But this is very interesting. It could be very imaginative and thought-based as well. So your mind might be a little bit in the clouds, because specifically her mind is in the clouds in this spread. So just take it for what it's worth. We're going to get into the reading itself. As I always say, that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just the footnote. So let's get into tarot. I'm going to get you 3 cards in the upright before we get the intuitive juiciness flowing. So shuffle it up here one time for you, Taurus. Let's get this deck ready. And while we do, let's talk about last week's reading, which was interesting. A lot of you could be going through a time of change, because last week's reading was titled A Surprising Change. And I was seeing that a lot last week with other signs too. A lot of mystery, a lot of surprises, a lot of things popping up. But I do feel like for a lot of Tauruses, there's a big metamorphosis happening, a big transformation. So we'll see if that still shows up within this week's reading. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone you're connected to. But let's get it going here. What do we got for Taurus, please? Let's get these 3 cards out for my friends. And for those of you that are new here, I read jumpers. That's why you see me doing the little shuffles. But we got the Page of Cups, talk about communication. We saw it in the first card, now we're seeing it again. This page has been quite popular in this week's readings across the zodiac. But you know me, I like that Page of Cups energy. Let's get a couple more. So much communication here, Taurus. We got the 8 of Wands. All right, there's a lot happening here. There's a lot happening here. Let's get you one more. Picking up steam, picking up speed. What do we got? Ace of Wands. There's a lot of fire here. Okay, Taurus, this is going to be a very interesting one, my friends. Kind of similar energies to last week, but a lot of differences as well. Like, yeah, this is going to be a nuanced one. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. So at first look, first glance, I got to mention we got 2 very powerful fire cards showing up here. Fire is that inner motivation, that inner passion that drives us forward. Now that could be very good. Fire could be about like putting your energy in the right places, but fire can also be a little uncontrollable. It could be a little volatile and explosive. So it's interesting. But another thing I need to note, even though we have this water tempering the fire a little bit, every last one of these cards, even the oracle card we pulled in the very beginning, have links to communication, to talks, to messages. So there could be a lot of communicating happening or coming in for a lot of you. But let's go through one by one. We'll really start to piece this whole story together. Position number 1, we got the Page of Cups. I always love page energy. Now, it could represent a water sign you're connected to. So think Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. When we see the Page of Cups, all pages are students and messengers. This one specifically is a big talker. The Page of Cups is like a blabbermouth. It's all about letting those feelings out, letting them spill. So I like this energy generally. It could be creative. This could represent love, and especially like puppy love, the early stages of love and stuff like that. But the Page of Cups, we really like this type of energy. Now, all cards have positive and challenges. What's a challenge of this Page of Cups? Sometimes it could be someone that's a little shy, someone that's a little bashful. Oh, should I say that? Maybe I shouldn't say it. So there might be someone a little shy to talk to you, or you might be a little shy to say something to someone, or reserved. It doesn't just have to be shyness. You might be second guessing what you say and who you say it to. Doesn't always have to be, though. It all depends on the clarifier, because like I said, I'm not seeing many blocks here in regards to communication. To me, it seems full on, full go, especially as we get to the 8 of Wands right next to this Page of Cups. So if this one's a talker, if this one's a blabbermouth, this one even more so. The 8 of Wands is huge for communication, one of the biggest ones. Now, this card, aside from talking, aside from messages and stuff we already covered, is an action card. It's a card of movement. It's a card of forward momentum and progress. And this is one of the fastest cards in the whole entire tarot deck. So for some of you, it could talk about distance and travel, of course. Moving certain things forward. We could think of fiery action when we see this, because this is like 8 arrows cutting through the sky. So things picking up steam, moving fast when we see this card. But once again, communication, talking back and forth. It's in every single one of these cards in this whole entire spread this week. Now, for some of you, this person could kick off the conversation in some sort of way. It could be separate things as well. It doesn't all have to be linked up, but there is some importance in how things are communicated to who and all the things that come along with it. Now, moving to the very back end, we got the Ace of Wands. Interesting card. All aces represent opportunities. They represent new things, similar to the Page. So there's a lot of similarities in all the main cards this week. There's a lot of new. There's a lot of new opportunities and new things coming in. Now, when it comes to aces, if you don't take an opportunity, it can wither on the vine. But as with this other fire card, it talks about the fire within. So the positives of this, it's a lot of motivation. It's someone putting passion and energy into the proper things, the proper people and places, all that stuff. But the challenge of this could represent somebody who's wasting their energy or not spending their energy in the right place. So it's interesting to take a look at. Now, one more thing with this Ace of Wands, you might be burning up a little bit in some sort of way. This is one of the cards of the libido and sexuality. So when we see this Ace of Wands, you might be a little more ramped up in that realm, if you know what I mean. But we're going to keep it PG. Interesting stuff, because there's so much communication afoot, or that could be breaking through here. So with all that being said, I want to dive deeper, Taurus. Let's jump in and clarify. So what do we got for my friends, my guide, spirit team? Talk to me. What's up with Taurus? And yes, my friends, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Page of Cups. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages that you want to give to Taurus, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, Page of Cups time. Why is the Page of Cups here? Thank you. Oh, okay. We have the Ten of Swords underneath this Page of Cups. Taurus. Okay. You might be wanting, if not you, there could be someone wanting to shut something down or end something. That could be a big possibility with this Ten of Swords. And I'm getting a couple of different things. This is not the nicest energy. I'm just going to be upfront and real with you about that. The Ten of Swords is one of the harsher cards, or probably the harshest card in the tarot deck. We don't have to get too super nervous about this. For some of you, this could be some tough news or some bad news coming in for a portion of you, or maybe you have to deliver some bad news to somebody else. But when I get the Ten of Swords under the Page of Cups, like this is somebody wanting or trying or ending something, all right? Like this is someone talking about like, hey, Like that, it is what it is. Like this is ending in some way. Okay, so I feel like it's either one or the other, very simple, straightforward. Okay, either somebody saying, all right, game over with this, like, yeah, it done, or this is somebody delivering some bad news, like one or the other. Okay, maybe for a portion of you, we could find a little in between here. Like if it's not those two extremes, maybe this is someone, whenever you talk to them, it's like they're always down in the dumps. It's like negative, 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 negative. So if there's a certain individual that you talk to them and you always feel drained afterwards, like energetically drained, emotionally drained, they could be showing up here right in the front. So just take that. I feel like those are the three main. But yeah, once again, it could be either delivering some really uncomfortable or bad news, someone putting an end to something, saying like, yeah, this is over, game over type of energy. Or, like I said, somebody, every time you talk to them, it's crisis mode. So let's see what's up with the Eight of Wands. I don't really want to look into that too much more. Let's see why that Eight of Wands is here. And Gods and Spirit Team, why do we got that for Taurus, please? Thank you. Okay, this is someone saying no. Okay, this is somebody who is willing to really throw down verbally. Like for some of you, please watch out for altercations, verbal altercations, or bumping heads with people in these times. We have the Knight of Swords in the upright underneath this Eight of Wands, two of the fastest moving cards, and when you combine fire and air, you know I always say it. This could be very, very, very combustible. So I would say this is a warning about volatile and explosive situations. Big warning right here in the middle, because I feel like certain things could spin out of hand when we have this in the center. So like this could be a situation or an issue that could spin out of hand depending on someone's reaction. Okay, because we have this communication, this harsh, this tough communication in the beginning. Then this, it's like boom, like someone set it off. So just watch out for that. Now with this Knight of Swords, it can represent a lot of the same things as this Eight of Wands. It could just represent talking with an air sign, so Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. But the main thing this was making me feel in the middle is like, yeah, it's someone who's not going to take it. They're going to come back. They're not going to take something laying down. Like there could be possible headbutts here. So just please take this as a warning that certain situations could go a little out of hand and it could be explosive. And that could cause a big problem here. Okay, I'm just going to be real with you about that. Now, I'll see when we get to that Ace of Wands on the back end, but with this communication, this harsh communication in the beginning, then the reaction in the center, there could be a big problem here, okay, that either comes up or is caused by some... Let's keep moving. Let's see why that Ace of Wands is there. We're not going to linger too long on any of these energies. Maybe this is somebody trying to fight against this stuff going on in the beginning. Let's see why that Ace of Wands is there. But it's like action, reaction. And the reaction is just, it's intense. It's a lot. So let's see why that Ace of Wands is here. And if that's not hitting for you, Taurus, if none of this comes up in the coming week, please watch your other alignments, okay? Let's see why that Ace of Wands is here. Thank you. More fire, air showing up here. We have the Eight of Swords underneath this Ace of Wands. Okay. Once again, more of the fire, air combination of volatility. Yeah, I do feel for a lot of you, either someone is going to say or do something that's just going to cause like some havoc and some mayhem. So I don't know if it's you trying to put the fires out. Like for a lot of you, this doesn't even have to be all your stuff. It could be people around you. But with this Ace of Wands and the Eight of Swords, I feel like you might get pulled into this, whatever it might be, for like, even if it's not yours, or it will be on you or expected of you to try to calm it down or calm this down, whatever it is. Like this is a lot, my friends. And notice along the bottom, it's all swords here. And that's the mental, it's the communication. So that is huge. Please watch out for miscommunications in this time. And I do feel like if this isn't a person causing a problem, someone's actions or someone's words is going to cause like a chain reaction where you might not have a choice but to either get dragged in or have to face it or deal with it. That's what I'm thinking with this Eight of Swords. Now, the good thing with this Eight of Swords is that it's a very fleeting type of energy. But underneath this Ace of Wands, maybe you are going to try to calm something down. Like I'm getting a possible peacemaker, like somebody trying to calm it down, make it better, settle things down, because it's not as crazy as what we have in the middle. This one is much calmer, but it's still not the nicest. Okay, so I would say in this time, like, please just, I know Taurus are generally laid back individuals unless somebody sets it off, right? Like once you push a Taurus to a certain extent, then it could get a little hairy for you. And so when I'm seeing all this stuff here, it's like, hopefully nobody pushes you to that point in the coming days and weeks. So let's go through and do a quick little recap. Just know some of you might just be a little more temperamental than you normally are when we have all these cards. But let's go through real quick before we get into the shadow card. If you kindly look in the box, obviously, once again, we have all this air on the bottom. We got a lot of fire, so much communication. Every card on this board has at least undertones of communicating. So that is like the main thing we got going on here, how people talk and what they say. But position number one, we have the Page of Cups with the Ten of Swords. Either several things we have going on here. One, this could be somebody delivering some bad news or not so pleasant news. This could also be somebody trying to put an end to something or saying like, yeah, no, game over type of energy, like end it. For another portion of you, this could be a person, whenever you talk to them, it's always a crisis or you feel drained energetically whenever you speak to them. However, when we get to the center, and could be a possible troublemaker there in the front end, because we have the Eight of Wands and the Knight of Swords in the center. This is like kaboom type of energy. Possible, like, it even rivals the Tower, in my opinion. So just watch out. Like, this could be an explosive warning of some sort, or it could be representative of a big problem that somebody is purposely starting here in the front end. So watch out, because these are just really, really tough reactions, fiery reactions, like someone's going to set something in motion. Now, when we get to the back end, we have the Ace of Wands with the Eight of Swords in the upright. To me, this does feel like, yeah, it's calming down, or it is being calmed. But you might either get dragged into someone's stuff, someone's problem, or you might be the one trying to settle it down or put the fire out. That's just the vibe I'm picking up here on the back end. But just know there's so much communication, so much volatility here. There are warnings, and there could be possible big problems afoot. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that a little further. Let's get you a shadow card. Let's see what's in the shadows for Taurus. I'm going to shuffle it up for you one time real quick, my friends. See what's in the shadows, please. And I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end. It's introspective and nice, just to see whether it's something within us, something we don't quite see. Thank you. Okay, we have the card that represents you. We have the Hierophant. Yeah, so please, and once again, I'm feeling it. Like, you might get pulled into other people's things in this time. It might not be the most optimal type of energy. But when we have the Hierophant, that is one of your power cards. It's a card of stability. It's a card of calm. And in a Taurus reading, I feel like this could be a very positive card in the shadows. Like, you might be the rock. You might be the type of individual that can get a handle on something, can get something under control. Now, the Hierophant, yeah, can talk about immovable things. It could talk about day-to-day life. It could talk about power structures, all sorts of things. But since this is a Taurus reading, Spirit might be asking you to, one, like, you might have to be the one to really solve something or calm it down, or two, in this time, make sure you're being kind to yourself. Like, I always feel like that happens when a shadow card of the self shows up. Make sure you're being kind to yourself. Self-love, self-care is extra important in this time. Or maybe stick to your own self for a little while. Lay low. But Taurus, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the August subscriber surprise. For the August subscriber surprise, I'll be picking 3 winners for 3 different tarot decks. It will be a winner's choice this month. So if you want the Gilded Tarot, it's your choice. If you want the Witch's Tarot or anything under $40 US, 3 winners will be chosen. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, which I'm sure you already are. And second, let me know down in the comments what you think is the best use for tarot. Speaking to spirit, shadow work, inner work, confusion, you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, in August, I'll announce the winners in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love. I'll see you soon.